Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Greg. Welcome to the channel. So, today I wanted to talk about the Spanish conquest in the Americas. But I was thinking right now, too, with the Thunder Wizard's teachings. He talks about basically the conquest of Europe from the Romans. That's something that I wasn't too aware of when I was younger. I can't remember if I was taught that in school or not. I mean, if it was, I don't remember. And I kind of wasn't paying attention to in school. A little rebellious back then. But yeah, it's pretty interesting that the Romans conquered all of Europe and forced this religion, this Catholicism, onto the people. It took hundreds of years, I think, to really implant it into generations upon generations of people to erase this whole other belief system, this real reality based, earth based belief systems that the Europeans had in the first place. With Odin, the Norse gods, the whole eight direction wheel. I mean, they had it just like the people in India had the wheel, the eight directions, and the Chinese, the Taoists, they had the wheel, and all the directions represent the same things. They may have different symbolisms and different ways that they name them, but they're basically the same essence, the same energy in each of the directions. So that's another thing that I learned from the Thunder Wizard, that proves that this is like a science. This is a true science, especially when you start working with the Thunder Wheel yourself, really opening up those directions and being in the middle, performing ritual, doing meditations. You really feel these directions. And a lot of what he says is really true. I mean, you face the Northwest, the home of the Ascended Masters. It's a really receptive kind of energy. I mean, the Northwest is this way that I'm pointing to. Um, yeah, it's just really open right there when I face that direction and pay attention to that direction. And it's the moon, too. The moon sits in the Northwest. You just feel that whole receptive energy, that loving, accepted energy, that nurturing energy, because these are people that have been through the human experience already. They know what's up. They know what you're going through, and they're looking to help you, to guide. And yeah, that was the real spiritual stuff that was going on for thousands and thousands and thousands of years before this whole Catholicism, Christian-based religion started slowly taking over the world. When you look back all of these whatever 40, 50,000 years, every culture on the world in the world had a shamanic based religion. You know, it was about feeling the earth, feeling the energy, paying attention to the stars, the planets, the movements of them, and picking up on the signs that the universe gives through nature, through dreams. And it's no coincidence that all these different rituals come up from different places, all these different myths and everything, because this is the real stuff of where we come from. It's no bullshit. It's the real thing. Shamanic religion, if you want to call it a religion, shamanic spirituality is the real essence of the universe and communicating with it. That's the real religion, you know. So when yeah, what I really learned from the Thunder Wizard was hearing him talk about the conquest of Europe, firstly, and they basically, what I know from how the Spanish, all the Europeans invaded the Americas. They basically forced their religion onto the people. Convert to our religion or we're going to kill you. You know, and we're going to set an example by killing some of you, and everyone else is going to start believing in what we believe in, what we want them to believe in. So they did that in Europe first, and they pretty much learned how to do it. They figured out how to do it, and then they came over to the Americas, you know. And in the Americas, wow, It was really same thing. They had their own little shamanic spiritual practices that were going on. All the different tribes. I mean, that was, I can't remember how many. I think it was estimated like 12 million Native Americans in all of the Americas before Columbus and Cortez came over. There was like something like that on the whole U.S. In the Americas, all of the Americas. Then by the time they pretty much signed the Declaration of Independence, there was only like something like 250,000 Native Americans in the Americas. I mean, that's pretty much like a genocide, you know. It's, you know, you want to talk about a Holocaust. That's a major Holocaust going on right there. And you know, it's kind of, it's like it's forgotten in America. You know what happened. It's brought up here and there, but it's not like what I see in Germany, as far as the reign of Hitler, and they're they're pretty much acknowledging what happened, and they don't like what happened, and they're going past it. You know, there seems to be more acknowledgement of what happened and why it was wrong, and we're trying to move forward, and they're showing the love to the people. In America, you just don't see that much. You know, there's still Native Americans to this day that don't get their treaties honored, respected. You know, all these treaties were signed when the settlers, European settlers, came to the Americas. You know, like I was thinking about the Black Hills in South Dakota. At the time, it was the Sioux, the Lakota, that if you want to say own the Black Hills, but that was their area, you know, their territory. I don't think they really looked at it as owning the earth, you know. It was like, this is our home, and these hills are really sacred to us. And the America, this was in the late 1800s, they signed a treaty saying that they wouldn't touch the Black Hills, never, ever touch the Black Hills. The Black Hills belong to the Lakota. And I don't know when it was, but then a little bit later, a few years later or whatever, some settlers, I guess they came into the Black Hills. They snuck in or whatever. And then they discovered that there was gold there. You know, and then the rumor started going around that, hey, there's gold there. All the settlers are spreading that rumor. Then eventually it got to the government, and they realized, like, yeah, there's a lot of gold here, you know. So then they were like, yeah, well, fuck this, you know. Let's sign a new treaty. Let's get them out of there, and let's start digging for that gold, you know. All that greed start taking over. So that's what they did. They pushed the Lakota out of the Black Hills, and they offered up all that land to the settlers, European settlers. And they just pushed them aside onto some reservations. And the Lakota, to this day, they were still fighting for it. I think it was in the 80s. In the 80s sometime that they took it to the Supreme Court, and there was basically a settlement that the government realized that the land was taken from them unlawfully, and instead of giving them back the land, the American government offered them, I think it was like $1.2 million, and the Lakota said, no, we don't want the money, we want to get our land back, you know. This is sacred land to us, you know. Money doesn't mean anything to us. We want the land back. And America, again, refused. So here they go. They say that the treaty's unlawful, and yet they don't want to give them back the land, you know. You know, government, trippy, man. You say one thing and then they do another thing. You know, your actions are more important. So that money, though, is still in some kind of an account, and it's just been accruing interest. So it's like in the billions of dollars now, but the Lakota still don't take it. They want the Black Hills back, you know. Then you look at that Mount Rushmore. Mount Rushmore was it's in the Black Hills. They carved the presidents' faces into the hills right there. what was it, Lincoln, Washington, Jefferson, and Roosevelt, I think it was. You know, I mean, that's pretty much, they're just setting it in stone. You know, these are our hills now. You know, we're gonna deface them. We're gonna put our presidents onto the mountain. You know, it's total. Yeah, I want to say disrespect, but yeah, you know, it sucks. It sucks what's going on. And you know, the whole religion, the Catholic religion, being forced onto the Americas. I think about the area of Mexico. I'm Mexican, you know, and you know, they basically forced the Catholic religion onto the people. Same thing, you know, convert to our religion or we're going to kill you. We're going to set an example by killing people, and everyone else is going to adopt the religion and the language too. The Spanish language, you know, comes from Spain. You know, the people from Mexico had their own languages too, and you know, a lot of Mexican people, when they ask me if I'm Catholic and I say no, they're like shocked. You know, especially the Mexican people that are coming from Mexico and are living over here now. They're completely like, they just like, what? You know, and I say, well, I'm not religious. I'm spiritual. You know, and I don't want to really get into it much with them because they have that wall and they have that they just can't understand it. There's this closed mind going on. You know, what I really want to tell them sometimes is, wait, just think about the Catholic religion. You know, this was forced onto your ancestors. So basically, you're adopting a religion of your conquerors. You know, and this religion is all about God casting humans out of heaven, out of this hatred, seeing human beings as sinners, and casting them out, and you know, they're just sinners. You know, they have no holiness. They have no ability to overcome their negative tendencies, and we see that in the earth. We see that in the people in this society now. You know, there's this whole saying about, well, human beings are just destructive. You know, they're just negative. That's just the way it is. You know, and that's bullshit too. That's a program from that religion. It goes way back. Even people that aren't religious will say those types of things, and they don't even believe in a Catholic religion, but still, it's just that hypnotic vibe that's out here in the world. You know, it's just keeping the consciousness down. You know, people are locked into that reptilian brainstem, where it's all that instinct to survive. You know, fight or flight. They're not getting up to the third eye right here, where that higher consciousness is there, and you really feel what I want to say religion, but what spirituality is really about. You want to feel it from that area, and it, you know, it has to do with clearing yourself out, clearing out all of that stuff that we've been raised with. It takes time, you know. It takes years and years and years, or maybe it could be fast, you know. But for me, it's been a while, and it's still all in there. It's still working with that. But yeah, people have a hard time not being comfortable around people who aren't Catholic, especially the people I've been around, Mexican people that I've worked with. They completely start looking at me in a different way once I say things like that. If I say something like, "Well, I'm not interested in celebrating Christmas because I'm not a Christian," you know. I'm not, you know, why celebrate a holiday that's not of my religion, you know. You know, no disrespect to that. And I met good people that are Catholic, that are really good, positive people, you know, but the majority that I've met have been just pure hypocritical types of people. They're full of it, you know. And, you know, I'm not going to hate on them either. They are my family no matter what, you know. And I want them to get to a higher state of mind, to evolve in true spirit. That's what we're all here to do, help each other out, you know. Evolving yourself is going to help emit that vibration when you're around people, and it helps you. It helps them. It stirs up their energy, to wake them up. It might not work in this life, but it will work at some point, because everybody's supposed to evolve. That's what it's all about here. But yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about. We got to take ourselves higher. So I'll talk to you guys later. If anybody wants the Thunder Astrology reading, I'll leave a link on the bottom right there. Once you get the purchase, I'll reply, send you an email asking for your date of birth, your time of birth, and we'll set up a time to talk. And it's a good way to connect the higher, lower, middle self. I give you a mantra based on your chart to the planet and deity that's perfect for you. And this is really powerful. Doing mantras, chanting. This is one of the true ways to really connect with the universe is through mantra. Really chanting those words out loud or silently in the mind. It's really powerful. So, talk to you guys later. Peace.